Tourism in Las Vegas is in a big slump this summer, costing the city billions of dollars. Some are saying that could signal trouble ahead.
Many businesses are bracing for what could be a sluggish summer. Visitors are even being told by their home countries to take their vacations and money elsewhere.
Well, travel experts are expressing concern, saying there are fewer international travelers visiting the U.S. than before. And ABC's Perry Rustam takes a closer look at how the drop in tourism in America impacts our economy.
One of America's most iconic industries, the very sector that has long projected the image of the United States to the rest of the world, is unraveling. Tourism, once a powerful engine of jobs, growth, and cultural exchange, is now teetering on the edge of collapse. From empty hotels in New York City to shuttered attractions in Orlando, from quiet airports in Los Angeles to struggling restaurants in Chicago, the signs of a crisis are everywhere. According to the U.S. Travel Association, the tourism economy has been shrinking at an alarming pace. International arrivals remain far below pre-pandemic levels. Business travel has collapsed, and many domestic travelers are opting for cheaper destinations abroad. A report by Bloomberg notes that in the last 2 years alone, nearly $200 billion in revenue has vanished from America's tourism and hospitality sector, leaving hundreds of thousands of jobs unfilled and countless businesses on the brink. At first glance, the problem looks like a simple dip in travel demand. But behind the scenes, industry insiders are warning of something far more dangerous. A structural collapse that could permanently weaken America's role as a global destination. Sources cited by Travel Weekly reveal that hotel executives, airline CEOs, and state tourism officials have been holding emergency meetings in cities like Las Vegas and Orlando to discuss the crisis. According to one participant, the tone of these gatherings is grim. We are not just in a downturn. We are looking at the possible disintegration of the American tourism model as we know it. The reasons are manifold. Rising costs have priced many travelers out of the U.S. market. Airfares are at their highest levels in nearly 2 decades. Hotel rates continue climbing, and inflation has pushed restaurant and entertainment prices beyond the reach of many middle-class families. Foreign visitors, too, are finding America increasingly unaffordable compared to Europe, Asia, and even Latin America, where costs are lower and infrastructure is improving. Security concerns add another layer to the problem. Reports of rising crime in major cities have made headlines overseas, discouraging families from booking U.S. trips. Political instability, culture wars, and tougher visa restrictions have further tarnished America's image as a welcoming destination. According to The Guardian, many potential tourists now see the U.S. as too complicated, too expensive, and too unsafe. The ripple effects are staggering. Small businesses that depend on tourism, from souvenir shops in Times Square to family-owned diners along Route 66, are closing their doors. Airlines that once thrived on international routes are cutting flights. Major hotel chains are reporting occupancy rates that, in some regions, remain 30–40% below pre-pandemic levels. The most alarming trend? Global travelers are choosing alternatives. Europe has regained its tourism dominance with destinations like Paris, Rome, and Barcelona posting record-breaking visitor numbers. Asia is booming again, with Thailand, Japan, and Dubai drawing millions of travelers who might once have spent their vacations in America. As one analyst at the Brookings institution bluntly stated, the world is moving on. America is no longer the default travel destination it once was, and without urgent intervention, the industry could collapse under its own weight. The question haunting policymakers and executives alike is simple. Can the U.S. tourism industry pull back from the brink? Or is this the beginning of its long, slow decline? Behind the glossy brochures and flashy advertisements, the U.S. tourism industry is fighting for survival. Insiders describe an industry on life support, struggling not just with falling demand, but with systemic problems that have been festering for years. One of the biggest challenges is cost inflation. According to CNBC, airfares have risen by more than 25% since 2022, driven by higher fuel prices, staff shortages, and fewer available flights. Hotels in major U.S. cities, from San Francisco to Miami, are charging record nightly rates, while restaurants and attractions continue hiking prices to keep up with labor and supply costs. For many families, both American and foreign, a trip to the United States has simply become unaffordable. But economics is only part of the story. Perception matters in tourism, and America's image has taken a beating. Reports of crime in cities like New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago have spread across international media, painting a picture of insecurity. At the same time, bitter political divisions and culture war battles have turned America into a destination some travelers actively avoid. We hear from clients all the time that they feel safer taking their vacations in Europe or Asia, a European travel agent told The Guardian. Bureaucratic hurdles make matters worse. Travelers from key markets like India, Brazil, and parts of Africa now face visa wait times stretching up to a year. By contrast, destinations like Dubai and Thailand issue visas within days, making them far more attractive. As one analyst from the World Travel and Tourism Council noted, if people can't get into your country easily, they'll stop trying. And that's what's happening to the U.S. Industry leaders know the crisis is real. According to leaks from Travel Weekly, executives from major airlines and hotel groups have pressed Washington to streamline visa processes, reduce taxes, and increase safety measures in tourist hubs. But so far, political gridlock has blocked meaningful reforms. Meanwhile, global competition is accelerating. Europe has invested heavily in sustainable tourism, expanding rail networks and promoting cultural heritage. Asia has embraced digital visa systems and low-cost carriers, making international travel seamless. The Middle East, led by Dubai and Saudi Arabia, is pouring billions into building futuristic attractions designed to lure high-spending visitors. Economists warn the U.S. is falling behind. A recent report by the Brookings Institution bluntly concluded that, without a fundamental rethinking of its approach, America risks losing its status as a global tourism superpower. Perhaps the most telling sign of collapse is the quiet desperation among small business owners. From family-run hotels in Florida to ski resorts in Colorado, operators are struggling to stay afloat. Many rely on seasonal international travelers who simply aren't coming anymore. Some have already shut down, while others cling on with reduced staff and slashed services, hoping for a miracle turnaround. As one Las Vegas casino executive admitted privately to Bloomberg, "We're past the point of decline. We're talking about survival." If trends continue, parts of the American tourism industry could disappear within 5 years. The warnings are no longer whispers. They're alarm bells echoing across America's most iconic destinations. From Washington to Wall Street, experts are now openly asking, what happens if the U.S. tourism industry collapses? The first ripple would hit the airline and hospitality sectors, industries already struggling with thin margins and rising costs. Major carriers like Delta, United, and American Airlines depend heavily on international travelers for profitability. Without them, analysts warn, airlines could be forced into widespread route cuts, layoffs, or even bankruptcies. The hotel industry faces a similar threat. STR Global data shows occupancy rates in some regions remain far below pre-pandemic levels. And if demand continues to slide, many smaller chains and independent hotels could simply vanish. The pain wouldn't stop there. Tourism is a multiplier industry, feeding restaurants, retail, transportation, and entertainment. According to the U.S. Travel Association, for every dollar spent by tourists, nearly $2 ripple through the wider economy. That means if collapse comes, it won't just be airlines and hotels that suffer, it will be waiters, cab drivers, Broadway actors, national park guides, and thousands of small-town businesses that depend on visitor spending. International organizations are taking notice. The International Monetary Fund and the World Bank have issued warnings that America's shrinking tourism sector could weaken the broader service economy, a cornerstone of U.S. GDP. Their analysis suggests that if current trends continue, the U.S. could lose its position as the world's largest tourism market within the decade, ceding the crown to Europe or Asia. Meanwhile, China, the Middle East, and Europe are aggressively capitalizing on America's decline. Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 tourism megaprojects, Japan's booming inbound travel sector, and Europe's seamless Schengen system are offering travelers what the U.S. cannot: affordability, safety, convenience, and a sense of welcome. As one travel strategist told Bloomberg, every tourist who doesn't go to America is going somewhere else, and those countries are cashing in. The risks go beyond economics. Tourism is also soft power, a way to shape global perceptions and build cultural influence. If foreign visitors stop coming to the U.S., the world's understanding of America narrows to what it sees on screens: political chaos, gun violence, and division. Over time, that could erode not just revenues, but America's global standing. Yet, amid the gloom, there are faint glimmers of hope. Industry leaders argue that with reforms, streamlined visas, investment in infrastructure, improved safety measures, the U.S. could regain competitiveness. Some states, like Florida and Nevada, are already experimenting with aggressive marketing campaigns to win back international visitors. But whether these efforts can overcome the structural challenges remains an open question. As one senior economist at Brookings put it, "We are standing at a crossroads. Either America reinvents its tourism industry, or it risks losing an empire of experiences that once defined the American dream." For now, the world is watching. And the question remains, is this simply a downturn, or the permanent end of America's golden age of tourism?